What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another day with the Cycle Frontier. I've been a bit behind on posting content, but I figured we would start it back up with some new patch notes for Season 2. Today we'll be going over some changes to Season 2 with a bit of mild gameplay in the background. For those of you who don't know, I've started streaming on Twitch, or more so moved my streaming from YouTube to Twitch. So if you followed me on YouTube specifically for streaming, I picked it up on Twitch. So if you'd like to drop a follow, my links will be down in the description. Feel free to join me and my friends. Make a fool out of ourselves. You know we always have a good time. But without further ado, let's get into the patch notes and let's see what's changing with patch 2.3. If you guys would so wish to follow along as I'm reading, or if you're watching the video without audio, you can feel free to visit the patch notes in the description. I will have them linked down below so you can follow along. And if not, and you just want to listen to me chatter and watch my gameplay, you're more than welcome to do so. So in the beginning, if you're reading along, they begin by saying their normal statements. Hey there, prospectors. Community team again. Here with a shiny new batch of fancy patch notes with all changes coming in 2.3. You know they love to really reel us in. But anyways, our previous patch was pretty big on balancing, which resulted in a lot of feedback from our players in a handful of areas. We, of course, have heard your thoughts on current matchmaking, but also wanted to follow up on our current balance spree with a couple more tweaks. With some significant changes and some minor fixes, this new patch is attempting to take down a few birds with one stone while opening the way to other patches coming in the near future. Now let's get into some actual changes that they've made to the game. Now there's going to be a long list of stuff that most people probably won't care about, but I'll show them to you right there just so you can see them if you're not following along. But anyways, so they've increased the brightness and quality of indirect lighting, which is good because there were a lot of times that you would go in and out of a room and it would either be really dark or really bright. You'd pass by lights and the lighting would stick with you, or the lighting would stay dark even though you were in a bright environment, or vice versa, so that got annoying. They also said that the tutorial got adjusted so new prospectors get a better feeling of progression within the tutorial, which I don't much see as a big thing because honestly, most people in this type of game, they're not really going to do the tutorial. I mean, if you're fresh coming into a survival type PvE game, then I can understand it, but the tutorial kind of feeds you with a silver spoon because you get better weapons and better gear, and that's not really the style of game because you have to grind an awfully lot to get there. Anyways, new players now receive 40,000 K mark, so that really doesn't have much to do with anything. The 10,000 K mark different is like 1.5 bolties, so to me that doesn't make a big difference, especially if you buy a pack from the game, which I am not sponsored by them, but I normally try and support free games like the Cycle Frontier games that I have fun playing. I try and support them by buying a pack. You know, it helps me out a little bit. It might be pay to win to some people, but to me it's just helping them out because you get a couple more dollars in game in K mark, so it is what it is. The HUD shows the most recent used consumable now. I don't know how they're going to implement this. I don't know what that exactly means because mine already did that? Question mark? I don't know exactly what that sentence means, but we're here for it. I like little changes like that. We'll keep it moving. Squad interface is now always visible on the station, even if you're currently running solo. A little tweak, not exactly needed, but we like it all. We adjusted the matchmaking buckets for Crescent Falls. According to the community feedback, you should have a much smoother experience in the middle brackets again, which was, this is a good thing. This is a good thing because there were a lot of times, especially early wipe. Now, if you guys remember, I told you guys that I started like 5 or 6 days late, so I was already in the trenches when I started. But anyways, we were running around with white kits, green kits, and we were running against exotics. You know, people that like to exploit the game. But anyways, so if they'd adjusted MMR and it turns out to be good, that's a good thing. We'll be going through that in my next couple of videos, so feel free to watch for those because there will be more content on the game coming, obviously. They changed the placement of some creatures around Green's Prospect, which means there's going to be rats. And by rats, I mean white dogs probably in every building, and they're going to be in the way just like there are on Thars. Gunshots can now be heard from a slightly longer distance. That's pretty cool and makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, footsteps and gunshot sounds will be less obstructed by terrain. So that means like gunshots inside buildings are obviously muffled if you're on the outside, but now that you can hear them from farther distances, now they won't be as obstructed and you'll be able to tell directional audio better? Question mark, I guess. Change the amount of smart meshes required to craft drills back from 4 to 2. This is a good change because smart mesh, for some reason, even though I find it all the time, I feel like I never have any. You can now craft restorative and tactical armors above blue quality. Now, this is a cool change because Purple and Exo didn't obviously have tactical and restorative, so it gives you a little bit more of an edge when you're wearing that kind of armor, which is something they really tried to do in the beginning by leveling out the playing field. They kind of buffed some low-tier weapons, but they also lowered some low-tier armors by the pen that they did. I think they took 2 or 3 off of white, green, and blue to kind of level it out and make it feel like I have purple now. I'm more protected than when I had other armors on, which is how it should have been in the beginning. So now that they get the restorative and they get the tactical, it just gives you more options when you're crafting your purple and your exo gear, especially if you find certain materials faster and in more frequency than others. We'll move on into the weapons and gear part. So they've nerfed the Kinetic Arbiter, the Shattergun, and the Gorgon. The Kinetic Arbiter I can kind of understand with reducing the damage, but it is still amplified by its massive amounts of penetration, especially with a purple pen mod. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, if you're still going to be able to single tap purples in the head, or if it's still going to be double tap just like, almost like the Balti is. Because pen is used as a damage multiplier, so the higher the pen damage you do, even if the number's higher than what the actual damage says on the gun. So if you don't understand that, I'm sure there's some info on the internet to understand pen and damage. Anyways, so they reduced the damage on the Shattergun. It says from 8 to 7, but I believe they meant to say 80 to 70, which I wouldn't see as a big thing because it's still going to be a 2-pump on most armors. But I think that change is mostly for distance, because before they nerfed it the first time this season, which was a damage nerf, a damage over distance, now I think it just lessens that even more so you can't snipe with the Shattergun. The Gorgon also gets a nerf, which means hooray for everybody, because the Gorgon was OP as hell in the beginning of this wipe in the season. I'm not playing Tarkov. We're playing Cycle. Season. But they nerfed it by reducing the amount of shots per burst from 16 to 12, which is a good change because the Gorgon was way too overpowered. But they did buff the Flechette, which I don't know was needed because the Flechette's kind of broken, especially in the early game, but they increased the damage from 9 to 10. Now we're going to move into the bug fixes. I'm not really going to talk a lot about these, but like I said before, I am going to post the patch notes down below in the description. So if you want to read these out aloud, you can. But there is a lot of them, so we'll just go over a couple of them. So they fixed a lot of interface issues with weapon attachment icons. Weapon attachment icons. I don't know why I stuttered, but I do. Anyways, they re-granted an old primetime head to allow players who own the item back in early access. Adjusted level 71 of Fortuna Pass, so now you don't get the heavy grenades, which apparently we weren't supposed to have. Fixed some clipping issues when idle on the station. Mouse sensitivity on the station should stop changing after every update. Fixed a weird camera angle showing when using the Tranquility emote. Members of your squad finally made up their mind and should stop randomly changing colors during an expedition. I don't know what that is. I haven't experienced that, but if you have, they fixed it. Fortuna Pass daily quests will now reset, which is a big one because for a long time, my Fortuna Pass quests, I was doing these same ones and I was not getting any experience. Fixed an annoying spot where one could get stuck in the starport landing pad. This has actually happened to me multiple times, so yay, that's gone. Tackled another one of those around the jungle in Bright Sands. I don't know exactly which one, but I'm assuming they were talking about the one under the fence in Jungle Camp. Maybe. Fixed some writing issues with the gear printer, moved some healing plants closer to Fallen Tree and Crescent Falls so they don't stand next to each other anymore, which is good because there was like 3 in a pack and that was annoying because once you use them, they're done. Accepting a new mission will now play its little chime, which I have turned off so I really can't hear it anyways. Bright Sands again took care of some clipping issues around the evac point close to the water facility. They need to fix the one in the actual station because there's one by like the Fortuna Pass lady and it's like a wall and I hit it every time. Applied a couple more fixes that should prevent anyone from reaching supposedly unreachable places. They also changed some stuff with cheater compensation, so that's good, which means you should be getting more packs. Well, no, hopefully you don't get as many packs because that means you're not running into as many cheaters. But if you do, the cheater comp has been changed again, so you should be getting more of your packages back that you deserve. With that said, boys and girls, that's the end of the patch notes. Like I said, they will be linked down in the description. If you think I skipped something or you want to go over them again and tell your friends, they will be down in the description. But That's patch 2.3 for Season 2 of the Cycle Frontier. I've had a lot of fun in Season 2, and I've really been enjoying Tharas. I know people don't really like it because of the ratting, but I'll be honest with you, I'm a shotgun guy. I'm not a rat, but I am a shotgun guy, so I really enjoy the fact that you can go in there with a 5,000 K-Mark kit, and you can come out with 150,000 worth of loot, and the Bulldog can take on just about any enemy, so if you don't have a lot of money, but you can afford a Bulldog, then you can afford to get the Tharas and play Tharas and make a lot of money. So I hope you guys are enjoying it just like I am. I hope you guys are having a good time with Season 2. Like I said before, I have now started streaming on Twitch, so all my stream stuff will be down in my description. My links to my Twitch, my links to my Discord where I do post my schedule that I've now started posting. My Twitter will be down there if you want to schedule on Twitter and you don't feel like joining my Discord, that's more than fine. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and sometimes during the day on Sunday, so if you want to catch me on any of those days, that's where I will be. More videos on the Cycle Frontier coming on my YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like the video if you liked the video, and press subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. You want to see some PvP content, you want to see just general funny content, you know where to find me. I'll be right here. I love and appreciate all the support, guys, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the Cycle Frontier.